The big boys of BlackRock are stepping in and purchasing the Panama Canal. Today, this is huge. This is huge news. BlackRock and Blackstone, known for their holdings in real estate and other asset management, stocks, bonds. They've expanded. They're ready to expand and go out into the Panama Canal. They're going to be doing this deal. We're going to take a look at an article that I found on the Wall Street Journal. So it says, after Trump applies pressure, Wall Street giant moves into Panama. An investor group led by BlackRock will acquire 2 ports near the Panama Canal that are owned by CK Hutchison and have been subject to dispute between President Trump and Panama. So President Trump, as we know, he's been having big talks about taking back the Panama Canal just because he said it was traditionally ours, but he's really been hammering home trying to take that Panama Canal back. For weeks over its most valuable asset, the Panama Canal, saying without evidence that China operated the waterway. There seemed to be no way Panama could get Washington off his back. On Tuesday, Wall Street came in. An investment group led by BlackRock, a giant American asset manager, said it had agreed to buy 2 parts owned by a Hong Kong company. So BlackRock, amidst all the fighting, came in and said, we're going to buy 2 ports from in the Panama Canal. Again, wanting to increasingly expand their territory. We already know how prominent and prevalent they are in the real estate market. Now they're going into more infrastructure with this purchase. So BlackRock will buy 2 ports which sit at either end of the canal. And they're going to buy it from a group called CK Hutchison for about $19 billion. So they're going to be in for it for $19 billion. Though Mr. Trump has other complaints about the canal, he said it charges too much. And we're going to look at that, how much it actually does cost to go through the canal. And I also think this is a play on the whole tariffs thing, him, an American-led company being able to, even though they do say, they are saying that this is a private company thing. I think this is going to play a huge part in tariffs and what comes over and what gets shipped back and forth. But we'll see. It's an elegant off-ramp for what looked like to be an unsolvable crisis. A lot of people are asking like where the Panamanian voices here. And, President Jose Raul Molino of Panama appeared to downplay the geopolitical implications of the proposed acquisition. He went out on a statement and said that it's a global transaction between 2 private companies motivated by mutual interests. So he's coming out and saying, like I said, it's not necessarily a political thing. It's none of that. It's more so a private company seeing the battle that's going on and stepping in and saying, we'll take on that. For BlackRock, it's the latest sign of desire to expand beyond what it is historically known for, which is managing trillions of dollars in stocks and bonds. Obviously, they're more so on the stocks, bonds. We also know alternative assets like real estate. BlackRock is buying the ports through Global Infrastructure Partners, an investment firm, for almost $13 billion that operates in many ports, data centers, and things like that. So it's using a partner as well, Global Infrastructures, to buy the canal. So they're working with a partner that already knows the game because they have many ports, airports, and data centers. So they're working with somebody that already is going to be a little bit more seasoned, so they can come in and just have that, I guess, almost like a mentorship and have that knowledge on hand already with the company that they're working with. So Mr. Trump has frequently said he wants the United States to retake control of the waterway, which seceded to Panama in 2000. CK Hutchison has operated the Balboa and Cristobal ports since 1997. We also had the Panama granted the 25-year concessions. So we just got pretty much benefits and things like that. The concessions were renewed for another 25 years in 2021. So we still have those concessions. What the great thing, the thing about what BlackRock is doing is now those concessions will be American concessions. So BlackRock is obviously an American company. And let me scroll down here because I believe that that's what they were wanting. They were wanting a American company because they said they had a couple of other parties that were looking at it. But there were 3 other bids. Here it is. The Lee family specifically saw an American buyer. So the Lee family is who they are actually purchasing the property from. They wanted an American buyer. And they said they had 3 other bids for the deal. Another person familiar with the deal said, somebody that knew about the deal said they had 3 other bids, but the Lee family really wanted an American buyer. So this is going to be BlackRock's largest infrastructure deal ever. Wow. So it's doing a deal with a partner known as Terminal Investment Limited, which operates ports served by the world's largest. So BlackRock is not going into this thing blind. They're going into it with partners that are knowledgeable about ports and how they work and what it actually takes to be successful in owning ports. Now, owning a port, first of all, is crazy. What is the Panama Canal and why is it really important? So let's take a look at the Panama Canal. So I have this article from the International Trade or the trade.gov. It says the Panama Canal is indeed a critical global zone of maritime transportation. So it's basically the link between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. What it does is it as it says, enabling ships to avoid lengthy and hazardous voyage around Cape Horn at the southern tip of South America. It provides a shortcut. The canal contributes to reduction of carbon emission and all those sorts of things. So that's one of the reasons that it's so expensive. I know Trump was saying it just costs too much, but it's a shortcut. It's a shortcut around the more dangerous parts of maritime transportation. So us having access to it, we could definitely control the cost. Americans having access to it, an American company having access to it. It's part of Trump's American first policy, but it also gives us that access to have a little bit more control on the costs and things like that. So let's look at what it actually costs. A regular vessel will have to pay $12,000 starting January 1st to reserve the right. So let's see here. Shippers will be charged 1% of the reservation tariff. A regular vessel will face a $25,000 tariff. Let me see here. So this is how much it costs between Panama that it costs to go between the Panama Canal in 2024. The Associated Press reported that this cost Panama between $500 million and $700 million in 2024. So extreme costs going to and fro Panama through the Panama Canal, which is the obvious. That is a huge reason for us to want to take something like this back. And there's also a huge reason for, obviously, it's just the cost is just incredible. It's astronomical. But this is really, really interesting that BlackRock decided to actually step on furthering their pretty much conglomerate of what they have in terms of infrastructure, in terms of real estate, in terms of stocks, in terms of bonds. I'd love to know what everybody thinks about this. It's pretty interesting that BlackRock, I want to see what happens with that and how BlackRock handles it with an American-led company being the catalyst for this. Now, what does that have to do with real estate? Obviously, seeing these sorts of things from a company that was honestly BlackRock. If you didn't know, they actually started as Blackstone's real estate department. Larry Fink was really, really good at real estate. He started out just buying a lot of the commercial. And so to see this obviously is inspiration for future investors who want to do something like this, to see BlackRock expand even further and go out to more infrastructure is definitely something that we have to think about as investors. Real estate doesn't stop at just single family, multifamily. You can go out to data centers, infrastructure, all those sorts of things could go into your portfolio. So let me know what you think about this in the comments. Till next time, peace.